Hello, welcome to the vlog, which is what I'm hoping is going to be the video during which I finish my current work in progress, which is the project side sequel. I am currently working on the first draft of this project, which has been in process since December last year, which means that something that was supposed to be a very quick, messy draft to then scratch and style again has been in progress for about 8 months now, and I would like it to no longer be in progress. Rather soon, please. But if you were following my process about 8 months ago, you will know that I wrote the very first chapter of this draft at one of my favorite beaches in Spain, and I took my laptop over and we walked all the way there and I wrote the first chapter and it was amazing, which is why a couple of months ago I gave myself the deadline that I wanted to finish this draft by the 4th of September, which is also my final day of my summer holidays, during which I'm in Spain. Unfortunately, that is in about 4 days and I am nowhere close. It is not happening whatsoever, which means that unless I want to hold off on finishing my book until my Christmas holiday, my dream of starting and finishing the book in the same location is going to be very short-lived, but I still really like that idea, so I would like to get as close as feasibly possible in my current circumstance. So right now I am actually a couple of chapters into Act 3. I am currently writing chapter 40 and I'm also at just over 60,000 words if you're curious about that sort of thing, but we are just getting to a scene in which all of these different characters that happen in different parts of the story sort of get together and lay all their cards on the table, and they're gonna figure out how to tackle the problem that they need to resolve by the end of Act 3. Which means that I kinda gotta know how the book ends if I want to write this conversation. And I don't currently know that, at least not well enough to write it. So I figured if I can't write the ending of this book at the beach, maybe at least I can outline the ending at the beach. So that's what we're gonna be doing tomorrow. We're gonna be getting up nice and early, going all the way over. It's about an hour walk away. I'm gonna be listening to my music, my project side playlist of course, and daydreaming about how I could maybe end the book or not end the book or whatever happens. And then we're gonna get there and we're gonna brainstorm and we're gonna outline and we're gonna hopefully figure out a really satisfying ending to this book that makes it all feel worth it.
You look at me like I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different, still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments, doesn't mean I don't need you.
It's a little bit windy, so I don't really know how well you're gonna be able to hear me, but we've made it all the way to my favorite beach. As you can see, it is a stone beach that is like very much not appropriate for swimming in, and it's very windy and the sea is just very dangerous here. But I think it's just because I grew up 5 minutes from a really nice sandy beach where everyone went swimming that I just find these sort of naturey beaches with like stones everywhere so gorgeous. And yeah, I've just been brainstorming a couple of ideas while I was here, and now I am going to be writing some of them down and expanding on them a little bit more. I've already come up with a bunch of stuff that I'm really happy about, so I'm excited to get into that.
Fell in love with the way we are and the way we lose it. There's something different about us and the reason why we stay. We fly around like paper planes, they never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us apart. There's something different about the way we are. There's something different about us.
I have been brainstorming for just over an hour, not including the time that I was brainstorming while I was walking, and I think I figured out not the entirety of this. So let me backtrack a little bit. I very quickly figured out while I was brainstorming for the ending of book 2 that I was not gonna be able to make a decision on this until I figured out more of the plot points of book 3. So I've been brainstorming book 3 for maybe 90% of the time that I've been sitting here. And I think I've got some, if not most, of the big plot elements. I know some of the discoveries they need to make in order to solve the problem. I haven't quite figured out how they're solving the problem, but like we're quite a bit closer to figuring out what's gonna happen than we were before. Some of the ideas I had for the ending are sort of like starting to weave in with the stuff that I have. So like I have the start and I have the ending, and it's starting to meet in the middle, and it's starting to make sense, and I'm very happy with how this session has gone. It is strange that I ended up just brainstorming book 3 instead, because I also brainstormed book 2 over here and wrote the first chapter. The sun has started to come out quite a bit stronger now, and I feel like I'm slowly burning, so I am going to put on my headphones again, brainstorm on the way home, and write everything down. And also gonna be doing a little stop at my grandma's because that's on the way, and having a tea with her. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. Hello, as you can see, we are back in the UK, back at home. I haven't been updating this vlog even nearly as much as I was hoping to, but that's alright, because at my current pace, it is going to be quite a while before we finish the book, so there's plenty of time to give you more updates throughout the month. I did a bunch more writing while I was in Spain. I think I was averaging like 2 hours of writing per day, which is really good. Even though like I'm on holidays and I have a lot more time, I was spending a lot of time with family, so 2 hours a day is really good for me. But predictably, now I'm back at work, so I got home quite late on Tuesday from my flight. I did a bunch of writing during my flight. I think I wrote 2 chapters and brainstormed 1 chapter, but I can't actually remember off the top of my head. And then I started working on Wednesday, and I have not touched my book since. Which I should have expected, but I swear this happens to me every time I'm on holidays. I think like, oh, this is going really well and I'm doing a lot of progress with only a little bit of time a day, so surely I should be able to keep this up once I'm back at work. Working for 8 hours and going to the beach for 8 hours are not the same thing in terms of how much energy they take. I'm really tired after working for 8 hours, and I always forget how difficult it is to work on my book with a full-time job. But we are still going to try. I am still aiming to finish the book in September. While I was on holidays, I set the goal to finish it not today, but a week from today. Today is Sunday, so I was gonna do like this big writing challenge next weekend where I try and write like 10 chapters in one weekend. Seeing how yesterday I spent all of Saturday just like in potato mode and being unable to do anything because I was so tired, I don't see how that is going to happen, but we are going to do our best. We're just going to keep writing and see how long it actually takes me to finish this, and hopefully I'll finish before October. I have a couple of other things I wanted to get done in September other than writing, but we're just gonna keep going. Yeah, there's not much I can do about it. I think I left off on chapter 42, which I was brainstorming during my flight but a little bit stuck on. I've got a loose idea of what I wanted that chapter's function to be. I want to use it to showcase some of the relationships after a change in dynamics in the previous chapter before we move on to something else, but I don't actually know what happens in it. I know what's going on in the background during this particular part of the timeline. I just need to figure out which of those things going on I can use the best as a scene that will also showcase those relationships that I want to showcase. So even though it is currently the hottest weekend of the year in the UK, I am going to make myself a cup of tea and we are going to attempt to brainstorm this out and see what happens. Okay, this Monday evening, I don't think I ever actually updated you yesterday. I ended up spending most of the time that I was working on my book just brainstorming. I've been really struggling with the outline for part 7. I think I've restructured it 3 or 4 times at this point. I keep changing my mind, and I'm quite happy with the events of what actually needs to happen. I've just been reordering them and changing which point of view character I'm going to be showing them from, and like which scenes to actually show and which ones will be off page, because there's quite a lot of stuff happening and I really don't want this section to be like really long. But yeah, I still have had the unofficial goal to finish writing part 7 over the weekend. That didn't happen. I have, I think, 4 chapters. Let me check. 1, 2... Apparently I condensed it down to 3 chapters, which I'm impressed by. I saw I was missing 5. And I am currently writing the first of those 3 chapters. I started yesterday. And yeah, I guess if I can finish part 7 before the weekend and then try and get part 8 and part 9 next weekend. 1 part a day is a stupid goal. I don't even know why I'm thinking about setting that goal for myself. What am I doing? Why am I putting myself through this? Good morning, happy Saturday. This is the weekend that I have been saying will be the weekend where I finish my book. Let me tell you now, it is not. I did manage to write on 3 days out of 5 during the week, which was not the goal, but it is more than I have been doing in the past, so I'm pleased about it. And I also wrote, I think, 1 chapter, which is not enough, but again, it was a difficult chapter and I'm not going to put myself down for it. But this means that I still have 2 more chapters left in part 7, and I gotta outline and write parts 8 and 9, which is too much to do in 1 weekend if I want it to be good. I don't want to just make a mess. So I think what my goal is gonna be for today is going to write the 2 chapters in part 7 and the first chapter in part 8 that I've actually already outlined. So I have 3 chapters outlined in detail. I'm going to try and write all of them, and then tomorrow we are going to focus on outlining hopefully parts 8 and 9 and try and just figure out what else is gonna happen at the end of this book and just get all the chapters that I still need to write. So I know exactly how much I have left, which I do not right now. I'm completely estimating. And then hopefully after that we can get a more realistic timeline. I am hoping I'll be finishing it next weekend if it's not this weekend, but don't take my word on that. I've just finished writing chapter 44 and I'm very happy with this. It turned out pretty good, I think. I was a bit intimidated by it and I spent a bunch of time procrastinating this morning, and then when I sat down I just sort of wrote it all in one go and it went really well. It is just over 2,000 words and it is currently 20 past 1. So I feel like writing 3 chapters might have been a bit much, but we're still going to try. For now, I am going to have a little lunch break and then we are going to go into the next chapter. It is 10 to 4 and I have just finished chapter 45, which is the second chapter I've written today. And this one turned out to be really short. It was just under 1,000 words long. Definitely on the shorter side of the spectrum for chapters, and I think I might need to beef it up in revisions. But that's a problem for later. For now, it is done and we can move on to the 3rd chapter that I'm writing today. I think I am gonna take a little break first and maybe do some cleaning, which I really need to catch up on. But after that I will be working on the 3rd chapter, which is also the first chapter in part 8. And the fact that it's in part 8 is actually kind of significant because I outlined it as part of part 7 and then decided it was a little bit too short, so I ended up moving it to part 8 and deciding to have something at the end that was meant to be part of part 8, but I haven't outlined that in detail yet. It's just like a vague idea, so I only really have half of this chapter sort out, so this one might take a little longer to do, but I think it's still feasible for me to do this today. So we're gonna go and do some cleaning and then write another chapter. Hello, sorry my hair is a mess, but just a very quick update because I know I'm very unlikely to film anything from Monday to Friday anyway. I didn't end up finishing the 3rd chapter on my list for yesterday. I started it but didn't get to the second half of it. But I did write over 3,000 words, which is way more than I've written in a day since I came back from holidays, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Today I had a bunch of stuff to do in the morning, which ended up taking longer than I was hoping it would. And it is currently 7 p.m. and I haven't touched my book all day. And I'm really tired, but I still want to. I think the best thing for me to do right now, considering what time it is just going to be attempt to brainstorm and figure out the rest of the book, but not necessarily a set in stone chapter by chapter outline, just like general idea of what needs to happen for the rest of the book, and outline the next 3 chapters in detail, so that when I start working at 6 a.m. on Monday before work, I can actually write the chapters that I have outlined and I don't need to think as much. Hello, happy Saturday. It is Saturday.
Yes.
We've established. I'm trying.
Hello, it is Saturday, and today I will be talking to you about my book. I like my book. I've written so many words this morning, and I'm hoping to do so many words this afternoon. I think my book is going well, and I'd like you all to buy it. Kind regards.
Thank you, that was very insightful.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, it is Saturday morning, and unfortunately I haven't done even nearly as much writing during the week as I wanted to, but that's okay because I actually did a whole bunch of brainstorming instead. Last Sunday I got some progress done into figuring out the ending of my book, but I didn't really get most of what I wanted. I just had like some vague ideas, and I've been continuing to think about them and expand upon them throughout the week, and I currently have 12.5 chapters left, which is the actual number of chapters left in my outline that now exists. So I'm feeling pretty good about the fact that I now know exactly how much I have left and like which specific chapters from which point of view I'm writing. So basically just an outline. These last 2 sections have been by far the hardest ones to outline, and like I just feel so good now that they're done. Of course, now I have to write these 12.5 chapters that I have left. It's the 23rd of September right now, so I am still aiming to finish this by the end of the month, which means that I've got exactly 8 days to write 12.5 chapters, which is a lot, but I think we can do this. I've got my cup of rooibos tea and a coaster stuck to it, and I am going to do some writing. Hello, it is Sunday evening, it is 9 p.m. and I'm just getting ready for bed and decided to give you a very quick update because many things are going through my brain right now and I wanted to talk to you about them. So first of all, I've written 2.5 chapters this weekend and I decided to skip 1 chapter, so I've got 9 chapters left. And the reason for the chapter I'm skipping is that I realized that there's a bit of a plot hole with this little subplot storyline, and I've got some thoughts on how to fix it, but I haven't really decided what I'm doing about it. But that means that for the last 2 days, I've only written 2.5 chapters. I've worked on writing for 4 hours total, and other than a 2-hour driving lesson, I had nothing else to do this weekend. This is the only thing I've been working on, and I don't really know what I've done with the rest of the time, like, not much. And yeah, I'm just so tired. I thought I could write more than that in a weekend if I really dedicated myself to it, and I don't understand why I'm this tired. I feel like I shouldn't be this tired. And it sucks, like I really wanted to finish this book in September because I have so many plans for October, and also I had 2 other projects I wanted to work on in September that I haven't even touched yet. And I think I just need to stop being so unrealistic and ambitious because I'm just upsetting myself over never being able to do all the things I want to, and I just don't have the time or mental space to do everything that I want, and there isn't really very much that I can do about it. At the minute, I have 9 chapters left, and I'm still determined to finish them next weekend. I was hoping to be further along than that though. I was gonna do half this week and half next week. And I think if I try to write half an hour before work every morning and 1 hour after work every evening for the next 5 days, and then work through the weekend, I should still be able to finish the book by the end of the month. But that's quite ambitious. At the same time, I am just, like, I'm still enjoying this story, but I'm also kind of done with it, and I just want to move on to something else. And I don't want to leave it when I have 9 chapters left, but I'd really like a break from it now. So I'm just gonna try and finish it. I think if the ending's not as good as I want it to be, that's a later me problem. I just want to get down the ideas. But at the same time, I still really love this book and I really love these characters. I just feel like I'm a bit disappointed in how the sequel is going. Parts of it I'm really happy with, and then other parts are just like, this is so boring, what am I even writing? And I don't think it's making the first book justice, and that makes me sad. I've honestly forgotten what point I was trying to make, but we're soldering on. We're still gonna attempt to finish the book by the end of the month, and I guess we're just gonna see what happens. I am now going to go to bed at 9 p.m. because I am somehow exhausted from doing nothing all weekend. Good night. Good morning, it is Saturday the 30th of September, aka the day in which we're finally finishing my novel. It's official now because I've scheduled a stream that says I am finishing my novel during said stream. I did a similar thing with draft 3 of the first novel in the series, and even though for this one I really wanted to finish it at the beach, that is obviously not feasible anymore because I would literally have to take a flight to Spain to do that. So I think this is a good plan B option that is still going to be really fun. I scheduled the stream for 10 a.m. this morning because I wanted to give myself the opportunity to sleep in a little bit. But I've got 5 3/4 chapters left. I didn't do any writing yesterday, and I only finished a quarter of a chapter on Thursday, but other than that, I actually finished a chapter on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which I'm very proud of. So 5 3/4 chapters, let's just call it 6 to make the maths easier. Assuming I take about an hour and a half per chapter, that is 9 hours of writing, plus the breaks in between, plus the fact that I will need to take a lunch break. We might be streaming for 10 hours. I hope not. I hope because it's the last few chapters, some of them are going to be a little bit shorter, like it's the final sort of ending battle scene. Everyone's participating from different parts of the world, so it's very fast paced, and we're changing POV very quickly so that I can show that sort of like things happening in parallel and influencing each other from different places, which means that I'm expecting my chapters to only be about 1,000 words each instead of the normal 2,000, so maybe we can do an hour per chapter and only need 6 hours to finish this. Either way, I am expecting to be streaming for basically the entire day, and we're starting in about 15 minutes, so I am going to go get everything set up and we are going to write a book. I'm supposed to be going live in 3 minutes and I haven't even turned my laptop on yet. It's going great. Why is it not loading? Load faster. Hi, we are live. I am currently working on the second book in the Project Side sequel. Second book in the Project Side sequel? That doesn't make any sense. The second book in the Project Side series. I didn't think I would feel this emotional about the ending, especially seeing as I've been very back and forth about it. I definitely think it needs more work. So I'm honestly surprised by how well the last scene hit from an emotional standpoint. Also, I didn't notice this until I finished writing, but the final chapter is from the same point of view as the first chapter, and there's like some parallels in there that I didn't even do on purpose. They just sort of happened, and now that I finished, it's like, whoa, that works really well. And I do not know how I came up with that, but I did. I still think overall, this book is gonna need a lot of work. This is only a first draft, of course, but there's some big changes that I already have planned for the second draft, and some things are gonna need to be moved out of order, some things are gonna need to be scratched, some things need to be added. A lot of things need to be done to get rid of plot holes and like make things make sense. But honestly, I'm really proud of this book. I am so damn happy that I just forced myself to finish it today. I have 4 minutes left on the final sprint, which is just enough to tell you my stats, I guess. So in total during the stream, we've done 11 sprints. The function to sum up time isn't working properly. I will go through and fix that and put something in here of how much actual sprinting time we've done. But we've been streaming for a total of just over 7 hours, and I've written 6,198 words today. Like, oh my god, that is so many words. I don't even know how I managed. And the book comes up to a total of 84,026 words, and it's 58 chapters, which is pretty cool because my last book was 60 chapters, and I already know some chapters need to be added, also some need to be removed, but I think it's gonna be the same length at the end of this. Like, there's a pretty good chance this will end up being 60 chapters as well, which makes me really happy because consistency. But yeah, I feel really good about this. I was hesitant to do the stream today because I thought, like, there's a chance it'll go well and there's a chance it'll be a complete disaster, and I'm very happy that it's gone well. I've also been talking on and off for 7 hours straight, so sorry if my voice sounds a bit funny. I am going to outro this video now, I think, but like, I finished my book and it's still September. I am so damn pleased with this, oh my god. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far into the video. Also, thank you so much to anyone that joined in on this stream and kept me company while I wrote the final 5 3/4 chapters of my book. This has been so much fun, and I've got 50 seconds left on the stream, so have a wonderful week or a wonderful month, and see you when I see you, I guess. Goodbye.